As the week is winding up, we have one more cunning story for you. I'm Aaron Damdo, and this is Analytica Today. Trump versus Somalia, a warning shot to all of Africa. In the span of weeks, the US sent two very different signals to Somalia. AFRICOM's new commander, General Davin Anderson, visited Somalia's member states of Somaliland and Puntland, promising tighter cooperation on maritime security and joint pressure on al-Shabaab. But days later, President Donald Trump called Somali immigrants garbage, claiming they contribute nothing and urging that they go back and fix their own country. The remarks sparked a swift backlash in Minnesota and Mogadishu and reopened old arguments about power, policy, and a fragile state caught in bigger geopolitics. The contradiction is hard to miss. The general's message was partnership, the president's message was disparagement. AFRICOM framed its September loop as an effort to reinforce security ties, and after that trip announced fresh ISIS Somalia strikes with Somalia authorities. On last week's swing through Ethiopia, Somaliland, and Puntland, the command repeated the same maximum pressure and cooperation line. Then came a cabinet room rant and follow-on posts from the White House and turned Somalis into a domestic political foil. The Somali community and Minnesota leaders pushed back. Somali's prime minister urged his country to move on without amplifying the insult. Trump told cameras that he doesn't want Somalis in our country, calling them garbage, and suggested US Congresswoman Ihan Omar, an ethnic Somali, should be forced out, language widely reported across US and international media. The Congresswoman responded publicly. Minneapolis officials and the state's leadership rejected the framing. Somali American community groups highlighted citizenship, small business growth, and service in local government. In Mogadishu, Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre chose restraint, no escalation, no echo. There is a domestic US context. The administration is leaning into a hard-edge immigration politics after security incidents unrelated to Somalis. There is also a geopolitical layer. The Red Sea Horn corridor sits beside global choke points. Gulf states like Egypt, Turkey, Europe, and others compete for influence. In that crowded field, Somalia's weaknesses, security gaps, fiscal strain, federal member state tensions magnify outside voices. When a US president speaks crudely about Somalis, it lands harder because the state is still rebuilding, and because external patrons regularly treat Somalia politics as a lever in bigger rivalries. That includes periodic US counterterrorism searches, as well as congressional discussion on recognizing Somaliland that complicate Mogadishu's sovereignty narrative. On substance, Somali and international reporting stress that blanket claims about a people or a diaspora are factually weak and socially dangerous. Minnesota's Somali community is large, visible, and like any other community, diverse. Somalis underscore citizenship rates, Somali business growth, and civic participation. Stereotypes like these invite stigma and retaliation. Trump's Somalia remarks arrive as West and East Africa wrestle with real crisis. Sudan's catastrophic war, Sahel jihadist violence, and migration driven by conflict and climate. Against the backdrop, choosing one community as a political foil does not solve much. It sidesteps the hard work supporting governance, accountable security forces, jobs, and regional cooperation that actually reduces the pressure pushing people to leave. Somalia's own reform agenda lives and dies on those basics. But here's the bitter truth. Trump can talk this way, and it resonates for some because Somalia remains weak. Its leaders have not yet delivered a durable social contract. Federal member states' rifts persist, corruption scandals recur, and too many citizens still see opportunity only abroad. That fragility makes Somalis easy to misrepresent and easy to threaten. The point is not to accept the misrepresentation, but to face the incentive it exploits. When a nation and its institutions are fragile, others write its stories, sometimes carelessly, sometimes cruelly. Today, it is Somalis. Tomorrow, it is Ethiopians or Eritreans. Somalia deserves better than a slur, but the most effective answer is in the clapback from Mogadishu. It's progress that makes such rhetoric ring false, security that protects all communities, a real anti-corruption drive, jobs that keep talent at home, and diplomacy that stops outsiders from confusing Somalia with every proxy they prefer. The United States